Just a conclusion. So I'm gonna use this part, an introduction, for the conclusion of my, um, smoker-based homemade metal smelting operations. The proof of concept was successful. I learned a lot of things, among them related to the actual temperature where the carbon is in contact of the crucible. It gets super hot, so it's possible to melt certainly platinum, copper, nickel, lead, tin, and no, remove nickel, zinc instead of nickel. So these are the ones I'm quite sure about, and that's great because I learned a whole lot. This was my first pour, and I tried with a very nice mold, cast iron mold that I have, but unfortunately during the first run I didn't have temperature enough. But then I started to use this kind of muffin like or biscuit molds. That was great, and I think these are the best ones so far. I already treat them a little bit in terms of polishing, etc., etc. This one I decided to keep because this is, I think, the purest aluminum that I had, but since it is stainless steel crucible, literally mold down or melted down, and so this got stuck inside the galvanized steel pipe, but doesn't get any better than this. So super cool. I'm gonna keep as it is. You might remember from the first video there was that kind of weird part here with a lot of slag, etc. I decided to cut and keep it this way. And then the second run with the new crucible, with the new stainless steel crucible, lots of bad things happened. I lost the airflow during the operation, so it cooled down very fast, and there was a maximum silver dollar sized round that I managed to extract. I tried several different ways. I grabbed some carbon mold, but they are for 1.5 ounces silver bars. Didn't get okay, so I just decided to remelt everything. I found a very, very nice bakery type of mold, but very, very, very little, very tiny, possibly goes 50 grams there. It was perfect, but it's pure aluminum. And first pour, first disaster. it melted completely the first cell. So what I decided to do was to melt it all, the entire tray, and put together here. So I went back to use the same mold that I used for this. So I filled 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of the cells, and they came quite right. So if you see a few things that I need to improve, right? So let's see. For sure, I still need to to polish everything. I didn't do, they're still in the raw stage. So take a look here, everything was doing fine. For some reason, at the end of the process, you started to experience some holes. This is usually, you know, temperature related. So I'm not sure what happened because I had everything heated up and everything. So I need to understand what I'm committing in terms of mistake, because this is like happened here a lot, like the surface of the moon, lots of craters. So I don't know. So, but anyway, cool. You see, these ones are super cool. I'm sure after polishing them, they're gonna get even cooler. And this is my favorite one. I use it 150 grams, you know, graphite mold for silver. And this is where I'm practicing to pour silver, because today is the 1st of March. Today is the 2nd of March. The day after tomorrow, on Wednesday, I'm going to start my silver refining operations for the first time using sulfuric acid, etc. So it's important for me to practice. I practice a lot pouring, you know, directly to, you know, the size of half ounce of silver, 1 ounce of silver, 150 grams, 50 grams, 100 grams to practice and see what I come up with, to avoid, you know, to have remelt or ugly pieces when I have purified and extracted gold from several, about 10 pounds of miscellaneous silver that I have from thrifty stores and similar things, right? So let's see. Oh, and there's one thing important. I think this is part of the disaster, right? When we had, remember, you're gonna see during the video, the pipe that melted down. You still see part of the galvanization. You see the steel funded fusing a fusion of the steel with carbon and things like this. So you have a lot of carbon mixed here. For sure there is some extractable aluminum about here, etc. But I think I'm gonna call it. I don't know. So let's see. I have the new crucible. This is great. This is what I'm gonna use moving forward. So I'm covered. I have my beautiful laser beam thermometer up to 1700 Fahrenheit degrees, so that I can really have a very literally laser sharp reading of what's going on around the crucible. These are samples of the aluminum cans that I'm gonna melt. I have some extruded aluminum from hard drives, for example. I'm not sure. Possibly I'm gonna keep those ways. So some of the smaller ones, like you know, the heat, the heat sink, or the smaller hard drives, I already mixed it with those things. But the larger one, I don't know, because they're super cool. They're I think I can do things with them the same way I can do things with all this stuff. I feel touch points. So when pouring some, you know, this comes with a hand, etc. But I need to take care when this slag from the bottom is coming over like this. This one is kind of ugly. It's easy because I think with a plier, very easily, no much effort, I'm gonna remove it, and then polish is gonna be hunky-dory. But anyway, let's see what's the yield for everything here in troy ounces. And my favorite one, last but not the least, on the contrary. So 4 pounds, 4.7 ounces. Let me take a look on my notes while you keep on admiring. Let's see if I can do something here. Where's my notebook? I started with 220 cans. And was about 9 ounces. And we have 4.5 ounces, which I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised. I was not expecting kind of 50% yield, far from it. Not only considering the regular loss you have with aluminum cans and all the crap that you have together. So I was expecting around 40%, even less, and also considering my amateur status that I still have. But anyway, next step is discipline. Next step is silver refining, baby, with sulfuric acid. I'm gonna start the procedures Wednesday. Start filming. Not sure how I'm gonna upload, but possibly in parts. Okay, thank you for watching, and now take a look on the second part of how I came, up to this moment. Cheers. So I decided to change the setup a little bit. So I'm adding this wall of regular bricks, like fence bricks or whatever. So we're gonna have here reduced space to concentrate the heat and the power of the air blow that is coming in, to avoid it to dissipate so much, even though the heat in all this area, the heat gets to 1400 Fahrenheit. The problem is between removing the molten aluminum and pouring. So the temperature drops and the process does not yield much of the of the good product to be put in the forms. And I'm finished to try this wall now. So I have this last part here that I'm going to extract 1 or 2 pieces to make sure we have the best possible, or the optimal use of the space that I'm resetting for, you know, retrying. So far I'm confident I can smelt tin, lead, zinc, aluminum. Big question mark on copper. So even though it reaches the nominal melting point for copper, I'm not sure if it's enough to, you know, to hold the process. I might find a smaller crucible. I'm gonna, you know, show in a few minutes, because I'm gonna reuse the last crucible because it's really solid with the aluminum that you know, cooled off, a lot of slag, etc. I'm gonna try to see if I can do anything with it, because that's gonna be the biggest challenge. So if it works with that mass, it's gonna work with anything. And then how high we go in terms of temperature, and if we can work with copper too. Be right back. So here is the final setup. I already have the blower installed. Only thing here is that I'm gonna make it, you know, the hard drawer closer to the entry. I don't think it made any difference to have an extra, you know, 3 feet, you know, pipe separating. No matter at all. So I'm gonna try, because it's gonna boost a little bit the, you know, the power of the blow per se. And let me pop the briquettes in, light my fire, and update you in a few. So here it is. We have around 400 milliliters of solid aluminum. I would say half of that is slag, quite certainly. But lighting the fire. The blower is closer now. Come back soon. Fire running, blower running. I'm gonna close it and wait a little until it reaches the desired temperature. Well, after some adjustments here, right, to have the optimum amount of smoke being released here. It was like keeping the smoke inside the forge, and was affecting the temperature of the fire, etc. So I moved this sliding door until it got less movement in the thermometer. The same here, same thing here, right? I tried several different configurations, and now you see. So here is about, let's start with this one. Here is about 800 Fahrenheit, right? So here is about 1,000 Fahrenheit. For today, we need this minimum right here, right? My stretch goal would be here. So that's a question mark still. Right? My hypothesis is that we can go higher than this. How much higher than this? We experiment with this one. Still going up. Cross your fingers for me, folks. Yeah. 1,000 Fahrenheit. Let's see. Too much smoke. Let's see what I can do. Deduction. So I have pretty much everything here. Very lightly I'm going to use this mode because this is the best result I've so far. This one.
Mira, chico. It's the Chupacabra. Chupacabra. ¡Ay! ¡Cómo me pica el Chupacabra! Hoy está feo como Baba Wawa.
Temperature is dropping.
Some people say they have seen the Chupacabra. After some tequila, he was dancing the lambada. We don't know where he has come from, making all the Mexicanos looking like a thumb-dump. They say that he's a monkey. I think the whole story's just a little funky.
There's a buggy-eyed creature that we call the Chupacabra, 4 feet tall like a mutant winged chihuahua, in Mexico City, Puerto Rico, Nicaragua. Hey, Chupacabra, hay un criatura que se llama Chupacabra, es muy feo como tienes para guava. Queremos tratar algunas palabras. Oh, Chupacabra.
This song is silly, but you see we really gotcha, like hearing the lambada or the hokey cucaracha. We started a sensation about a creature that is just hallucination. We did it for the money, but we do it when we think it's really funny.
There's a buggy-eyed creature that we call the Chupacabra, 4 feet tall like a mutant winged chihuahua, in Mexico City, Puerto Rico, Nicaragua. Hey, Chupacabra, hay un criatura que se llama Chupacabra, es muy feo como tienes para guava. Queremos tratar algunas palabras. Oh, Chupacabra. There's a buggy-eyed creature that we call the Chupacabra, 4 feet tall like a mutant winged chihuahua, in Mexico City, Puerto Rico, Nicaragua. Hey, Chupacabra, hay un criatura que se llama Chupacabra, es